Welcome back, everybody. It's Lucky
Tuesday!
That is right, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at Lux Studios with the one and only Nacho Libre. Now let us get into this Zoro fight. Yes, you get the idea. When we last left off, we had our heads in the clouds, fighting gods. Oda does hit us with a little feeler that transitions us to the next arc. We escape an inescapable marine fortress. But I have to tip my mask to the brilliance of Oda, because his foreshadowing prepares us for loss. During the Davy Back games, we lose Chopper and Robin, but we get them back. Don't worry your little heads. But then, we have a run-in with Vice Admiral Aokiji, cold as ice he was. But I suspect that Aokiji was merely testing the Straw Hats to see how far they would go for Robin. But he lets them get away with a frozen captain and a frozen archaeologist. But we were in need of a shipwright, so we head to Water 7. And ever since we stepped foot in Water 7, it's like someone has taken the legs from underneath us. As you can already see, there are a lot of moving parts here. Usopp loses the money to fix the Mary, like the Frankie family putting the pause on Usopp when he tried to get the money back. Our captain has decided to part with the Mary, and Usopp's entitlement led him to fight our captain and lose. So he decided to leave the crew and fix up the Mary himself. And Robin is faced with her past in Water 7. But even though she's finally found a home in the Straw Hats crew, she sacrificed herself and turned herself in to the world government to protect the Straw Hats. But I like this Luffy guy. He really loves his friends because he makes the decision to go after Robin, despite having to take on the world government. So Lady Kokoro gets Rocket Man up and running and gathers the remaining Straw Hats and heads for Enies Lobby. But on their voyage to catch up to Robin, Aqua Laguna tries to slow them up. But Luffy and Zoro, they do a bit of a tag team on Aqua Laguna, and they burst a hole right through the giant's wave. But still more obstacles are in the way. There is a train car that is sitting in the middle of the tracks, left by Sanji, Frankie, and the Sniper King from Sniper Island. So Luffy calls his first mate, Roronoa Zoro, to take care of the obstacle in Rocket Man's way, using a new technique, Nitori Ui. Rashom! Now before we get to Zoro's main event, the Straw Hat crew cuts a promo to the world government that they mean business. So the crew, minus Usopp, but Sniper King is there, they show up to assure Robin that she's one of us, and we will not leave her behind. We will chase her to the ends of the sea. And after all these years of running and hiding from the world's government, she now has a place to call home. And Luffy has Sniper King shoot the world government flag. And ultimately, we get Robin to admit that she wants to leave. And she wants to be a part of the crew. Very touching. Like my love for the orphans. And now let's get to the main event. Zoro versus Kaku, the strongest swordsman in CP9. Kaku uses 4 sword style, 2 swords, and his legs for the Tempest kicks. But in all honesty, Zoro has no issue keeping up with Kaku. But after Kaku gives it up to Zoro, he transforms into a long square nose and a long square snout for Rigoraph. Zoro and Kaku crash Jabara and Sniper King's party when they fall through the floor. Sniper King had a plan to shoot the Sea Prism cuffs onto Jabara and Kaku. But the absurdity of Kaku's Devil Fruit power was too much for immature Sniper King, so he misses his shot and gets Zoro instead. Then Kaku, having to justify his Devil Fruit to Jabara, who's laughing hysterically, he sends out a huge flying blade attack that cuts the government building in half. Sniper King, unaware of what's going on, Zoro rescues him by tackling him out of the way. But this causes the Sea Prism cuffs to now trap the Sniper King as well. So this becomes a bit of a handicap match. So Zoro and Sniper King at first, unaware how to fight back, they have to do a bit of running. But the machismo in Zoro wouldn't allow him to continue running. He wanted to fight. So he comes up with a plan, and he makes Sniper King his sword. So Zoro takes his stance, using his 3-sword style. Only this time, he has Nose Storm as his 3rd sword. And Zoro was able to get attacks off, and he was doing a bit of baiting as well. So they were holding their own against Jabara and Kaku. But then Chopper comes out of nowhere and disturbs their fight. Concerned about Chopper, Zoro called out to him. Frankie was not too far behind, as well as Nami. So Frankie uses his Kudo Burst to blast Chopper into the sea as he dives in to save him. This was the only way to get Chopper out of his berserk mode. And Nami has the key for the cuffs. Freeing Zoro of No Storm, he is now able to take on Kaku with no interruptions. After countless clashes, Zoro finally decides to throw on his Dewey, okay? Not quite a luchador mask, but all the same. Kaku's ridiculousness hides a pretty dangerous attack as he is sending a lot of flying blades attacks into the air. And they rain down on Zoro as he tries to fend off some of them, but they prove to be too much. And he starts to take heavy damage. And in the midst of all of that, he has to take a nose pistol. He's not fighting fair, is he? Then we see Zoro's Gorilla Slash. And he even manages to get off a Dragon Twister. But then Kaku wants to play with swords again. So he runs off to grab his tool from the floor above. But even with his full sword style, it proves not to be enough for Zoro's leopard spinning shot. But in this moment, even though his machismo is starting to leak out into his aura, Zoro is a softie, okay? Because just Kaku mentioning Robin's name really got his blood boiling. Because that awakens the demon that resides inside of Zoro. But if there was ever a mistake by Kaku, it was uttering Robin's name. And Zoro, in his Ashura form, symbolizes him as being omnipotent. all-knowing, all-seeing, because he was able to block Kaku's attacks. And then he finishes Kaku off with his Ashura Silver Mist. And that was the end of Kaku. And he coughs up the key. Now let us rank this main event. Fight difficulty S tier. This would be the second Devil Fruit user that Zoro had to fight one-on-one. And Kaku was able to use Armament Haki. And he could fire off Flying Blade attacks with ease. Story impact S tier. Another swordsman faces Zoro, but we are at a bit of a disadvantage. We are handicapped, as we are handcuffed to Sniper King. And we had to face two opponents, very tough. Power displayed, S tier. Just like with Mihawk, Zoro had to flash a trump card. But I think this one came a bit of a surprise to Kaku, because he awakened a demon when he uttered Robin's name. Strategic depth, C tier. Outside of the ridiculousness of using Sniper King as a sword, there wasn't much strategy involved. Zoro just out cheese mode Kaku. But thank you for tuning in to another Lucky Tuesday. But as always, I am Nacho Libre, and this is Lux Studios. Go out and get your ego powders, my friend.